Hey everyone, welcome back to New Slang. I'm music journalist Thomas Mooney, and we're shutting down the week being joined by one of my favorite up-and-coming singer-songwriters out there in the country world, Tiera. She's released a handful of singles so far, but her official debut EP, it'll be coming out this next month, sometime in mid-March. I was able to catch up with her just the other day to talk about moving to Nashville and getting signed to a publishing deal, working and writing in the middle of this pandemic, and how that's just been another hurdle for her as she's really just trying to launch her career as an artist. Now, I know some listeners here on New Slang, you come for the grittier, more Americana-style artists and songwriters. Tiera is definitely more so on the popular side of country. There's these sprinkles of soul and pop in there. But if there's one thing that I've tried to do with New Slang and my writing and coverage in general, that's been to show that there is great music in all of these various pockets of America. And there's plenty who are doing great things underneath this country music umbrella. I hope all of y'all have appreciated that about New Slang. It's why I've had artists like Culture Wall and Cam both on New Slang. I'm pretty sure New Slang is the only podcast to even do so. So, yeah. Of course, this episode isn't about either of those two, though. It's about Tiera, which one of my big points in even saying all of that is because while you may not enjoy the bubblier or more poppy production, I encourage you to go listen to the acoustic version of Found It in You. You'll probably like that version. The bones of her songs are just so great, and I think her vocal delivery is just incredible. She just has such a promising voice as a songwriter, and I think that at the end of the day, what I love is songwriting, and I hope you do as well. So while some like pop country stuff may not be for you, I hope that you at least appreciate great songwriting. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that she does have a new single coming out tomorrow. It is called Miles, and it's with fellow country pop riser Breland. So yeah, y'all check that out as well. Today's presenting partner is our pals over at Desert Door Texas Soto. If you're asking yourself what exactly Desert Door or a Soto is, well, it's a premium, high-quality spirit that is similar to a tequila or a mezcal, but in my estimation, it's more refined, smooth, and fragrant. It has a distinct and intriguing palate that picks up on hints of vanilla and citrus while maintaining a healthy earthiness that is quite enjoyable. One of my favorite features about Desert Door is just how versatile it really is. If you want to feel fancy and a little highbrow, it's perfect for a variety of cocktails that call for lime wedges and coarse salt, chopped ginger, agave nectar, sprigs of thyme and sticks of cinnamon. If you're down to muddle some fresh fruit, all that kind of stuff, it's perfect. It's great for experimentation and fine-tuning all of your mixologist skills. And then also, if you're a little bit more down home and casual, you got that denim jacket on. It's just perfect for those short and sweet, simple go-to favorites that hit the mark every time. I'm talking about ranch waters and Moscow mules and palomas and Mexican Coca-Cola with Desert Door. What I love so much about Desert Door is just how genuine and authentically West Texan they are as well. They go out and harvest Soto plants out in the wild and are aware and knowledgeable conservationists at heart. So next time you're at your neighborhood liquor store, get yourself a bottle of Desert Door. I'll throw a link into the show notes for more information. Be sure to check out the Neon Eon, my 90s country focused podcast. This week, Larry Stewart of Restless Heart was my guest. The episodes are starting to pile up over there, so if you do like late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s country music, go check it out. Guests so far have been Clay Walker, Pam Tillis, Gretchen Peters, Porter Howe of Little Texas, Terry McBride, and the aforementioned Larry Stewart. It's out every Wednesday. I guess I don't have too much else to say here other than the usual. Go follow New Slang on all the social media stuff. Check out the Patreon and join for bonus content. Check out the merch store. Everything is currently on sale, so yeah, go grab something for yourself. Okay, let's get on into the interview. Here is Tiera. Obviously, like, you've been releasing some singles these past few months, but now, like, just here in a couple of weeks or in about a month, you're going to be having your first EP. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, like that has to be one of those things where, you just kind of go, okay, well, finally, here's like the thing I've been working for. That's a little bit more of an industry standard at least. Can you, yeah, just expand on like what you're thinking about as far as, yeah, getting all those songs together and collected, and here's my first quote unquote official me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's really interesting. Like when I first started releasing singles, like when we released Founded in You, I really had no idea that I would release an EP, but it just made sense because I feel like this set of music is really kind of like a reintroduction to people. And it's a new sound. It's all kind of like R&B country is my jam. And I just have like this pile of songs that I love. And I really wanted to put it all together in one collection, like I said, as an introduction to people. So I'm really excited about it. Like I've released an EP like some years ago, and it was like an acoustic EP. Really not good. Like I'm embarrassed if anybody still has that EP. So I'm excited to be releasing this and for people to hear all of the songs.
Yeah, like one of I find that like what I always love, just on a side note, there is like when an artist, they release that first EP and then like they end up like scrubbing it from the internet and hoping that no one finds it. Yeah, I always love those.
Yeah.
What I was gonna
Yeah, no,
say.
I have like a lot of songs that I've taken off the internet because it's just embarrassing.
I feel like you're doing like all these little things, and like obviously you have like the Apple Music show too, which
Hmm.
is in a lot of ways like a podcast. It's like you're a curated playlist at the same time, and like a radio show. Um, Talk a little bit about like what do you do to prep for something like that? Because obviously, like you're playing songs of your peers and people that you've been listening to for a long time, and all the aspects of curating something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when I first started, I never in a million years thought that I would like be hosting a radio show. But I feel like I don't know, it's great because I can be like a fan of other artists, but also still be an artist myself, and like I definitely sneak some of my music in there from time to time. But it's so fun because it's really there's really not a lot of prep that goes into it, I guess, because it's really just listening to music and you know letting people know how I feel about that music, which is what I was doing before as a fan. So it's great just like also like getting to put my friends on a pedestal. One of my favorite things every Tuesday we um like share new artists that I'm loving, and a lot of them are my friends. So it's really fun to like share their music with people that might not have heard it yet. And we record every single morning, and it's just like a great start to the day because I love music, and it's like the best job ever, just getting to ramble on about music all day long.
Yeah, I was listening to that last show you did where you had a couple of the songs that were done by the songwriters before,
Yeah.
and like I feel like we're on the same wavelength on this because I guess it was like last week I started making a playlist of just like all these like old '90s country songs that were recorded.
Yeah.
So like when the Don Schlitz song came on, I was like, oh yeah, same thing. I absolutely love that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's so fun, and I feel like songwriters are the heart of Nashville. Like Don Schlitz was like one of the first people that I saw at the Bluebird. And he was playing the Gambler, and like it's just it was so interesting. First of all, like seeing the audience reaction from that, because I feel like if you're not in Nashville, sometimes you don't really think about the fact that there are other people behind the song besides the artist. And so, yeah, it's fun to kind of like shed a light on that and the songwriters, because a lot of the times they're really like curating these artists' sound, you know? So I love whenever I get to like share stories behind certain songs that people might not know about. So yeah, I love that you love that episode. That was really fun, like putting that together and finding like the behind the scenes stories.
Yeah, like with specifically with Don Schlitz, it's like, man, if you go back and just look at like the catalog of songs he's written,
Yes.
it's like, oh my God, how does one write The Gambler and then also like Forever and Ever, Amen, and like When You Say Nothing at All,
Yeah.
and like,
I know. Yeah, no, it's wild. And I think if I remember correctly, I think he wrote Forever and Ever Amen like shortly after he did The Gambler. So he's insane.
yeah, like it's and as you said, like there's so many people where I guess like if you're just a common person, and it's no fault to you if you're just like that guy with that 40-hour week job with kids and stuff, because you're not necessarily like looking at liner notes the same way as anyone really connected to the industry, or if you're just like a music nerd. But
Exactly, yeah.
like, yeah, there's just so it's like I guess the I'm blanking on the analogy here, but it's like the iceberg, you know, like there's only so much that you see above the surface, and there's like just so many people who are the players and the pickers and like the producers and like the songwriters, and just so many more people involved.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why like I feel like whenever I release music, like I love to shed a light on all of the people that had a part in creating that music, because I'm out there singing the songs, and for all of the songs on the EP, like I was a part of writing those, but I also had co-writers, and an amazing producer that helped pull all of it together. And I think it's important to share the spotlight with them, because it wouldn't be what it is without those people.
This episode of New Slang is brought to you by Hot Damn Coffee. Rolling in from the hills of eastern Tennessee is Hot Damn Coffee. It's a down-home company that roasts single-origin, high-quality coffees from around the world. Their year-round roasts come from certified farms in Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Nicaragua. Check out the Hot Damn website over at hotdamn.coffee. There you can find more info on their operation and roasting process, and some helpful tips on how to brew the best cup of coffee. They've certainly made my mornings that much better. And to be perfectly honest, I enjoy a nice cup of coffee at all hours of the day. Some of my favorites have been the Tanzanian pea berry in medium roast and the medium roast of Nicaraguan with the honey process. While there, check out their Hot Damn Coffee Club, which is a monthly subscription service. With the holiday season coming upon us, it's just really kind of the perfect gift. I don't care how difficult or easy a person is to shop for, they'll always be good with items like high quality coffee. And of course, right now, if you throw in the promo code SLANG in all caps, that's SLANG, you'll get 20% off your order. And if you're signing up for the Coffee Club subscription service, they'll take 20% off that first month and also throw in a bonus 8-ounce bag of their Nicaraguan coffee. Again, that's SLANG in all caps. Head over to hotdamn.coffee and sign up today. All right, let's get back to the episode. And I think that's really interesting that you're talking about there too, because, as I said just a few minutes ago about how it feels like your personality and like your sense of your view of the world very much translates through in the song. But, you do have those collaborators to help you kind of, show you the way, and like, obviously not just show you the way, but like I'm assuming there's a part of them in those songs as well that they can go, that's part of me right there. And that's, what has that been like as far as like finding the right people to work with and to write with?
I feel like that's why I'm really excited about this EP, is because it's all of my favorite people, all of my favorite co-writers, and my producer Cameron Bedell, he did all of the songs, and it's fun for all of us because, like you said, because there is like a little piece of them in every single song. And I think it's just so much more fun, like celebrating all of the accomplishments that the songs get with my collaborators, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun, like not like every single writer on these songs are people that I love and like actual friends, you know. So it just makes everything so much more special.
Yeah. Um, like this year obviously has been so different than any other year. What has that been like for you as far as writing? As I'm sure like you've had to, navigate this world just like any other songwriter in Nashville as far as changing the way you're not necessarily writing, but how you're writing with people.
Mm-hmm.
What's been this year been like? Have you been able to um, co-write it the same way? Or have you been doing Zoom calls and stuff like that? Or what's been your way of doing it?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls, which has been interesting because we actually started, I feel like we started doing Zoom calls right when I signed my deal. So, like signed this publishing deal, and then now I'm writing songs through my computer instead of in person, which is really interesting. So it definitely was like a shift learning how to do that. You know, I, it's not my favorite writing songs over Zoom because I feel like you just miss out on that in-person vibe. So I've been doing like a couple in-person writes with like close friends. But it's kind of like half and half. I definitely can't wait until we completely get out of Zoom and can write fully in person again, because there's just nothing like being in the room with someone. And I feel like also the fun part of writing is the hang part, catching up on life. And you don't really get that a whole lot with Zoom. It's kind of just like you write the song and then you're done. So yeah, I can't wait till we get back to normal writing.
Yeah, like that to me, it seems just so strange because, um, like you just add that little bit of technology in, and then like we just had right there that phone call drop. Like sometimes there's
Yeah.
like a little bit of a lag, or there's something like
Uh-huh.
where you're just like, oh, this is just so strange and weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, also like it's the worst with writing too because you can't like sing over each other, and because then no one can hear anything. And like if somebody's playing guitar on one end, you can't sing with them because of the lag. So it's not the best. Like very grateful for Zoom for like us being able to, write from home and still be able to work, but there's just nothing like writing in person.
yeah, like I think like with it's the same thing. Like at the very beginning of this year, you saw like a lot of people playing Instagram shows and like Facebook feed streams and stuff like that. And like it was really, really cool for a little bit. And then all of a sudden it's like, man, this, I don't know, like it feels all the same. And it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not like a live show setting. Like you just kind of, I don't know, like it feels like for me, whenever I go to a live show, that is like what I'm watching. And if you have like
Yeah.
the live stream on, it can easily fade into the background.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember when quarantine started and everybody was doing a live stream. Like, and I feel like people are still kind of doing live streams now, but there's just nothing like being in person and feeling the band, and being up close to that. I don't think that will ever be replaced. I think it's nice that we've kind of figured out a way to keep that going in the meantime. But I know we're definitely all itching to be in the same room and to celebrate music in the same room.
Yeah, of course, like in saying all that, like technology is so great because um, probably for you, like as a songwriter, like it's so easy to like a lot of songwriters, you have like your notes app or like you have like little voice
Mm-hmm.
recordings that you can do to capture those little bits of inspiration. Is that kind of like what
Yeah.
you do? Is that like I feel like a lot of like up and coming, like, or not, I say up and coming, but like all young songwriters do this a lot more than older songwriters.
No, totally. Well, when you're talking about like voice memos, I think the interesting thing about that is like when we're in the room writing a song, like a lot of times we'll record so we don't forget a melody. And, you know, sometimes you'll get like the talking in between. And I've actually gone back and listened to some of the voice memos from songs that I've released, and you can hear like the progression of it getting to the melody of what it is, which is so cool because I feel like fans don't really get to be in, you know, they're not in the room when we're writing the song. And so it's cool to kind of have that, I don't know, like documentation of the song being created. And I love to like share those little moments because I think as a fan, like that's super cool to hear how a song was made.
Yeah, like I think a lot of times we all kind of just think of the song being written down, like, or like the creation of the song being like that when you picked up the guitar, picked up the pen and pad, started writing it, and it was just like, bam, that's it. That's how it comes. And, you know, of course, like there are those moments where you're able to write that song in 15 minutes. You're able to like use that energy. But as you're saying, like you said, like there's so much that goes into getting to that point to where like the song starts turning and like you're able to like, I don't know, it's like you start seeing that specific tree within that, you know, all the, within the forest, I guess.
Yeah. And that's what I love about songwriting. Like, my favorite thing is just getting into the room and like not having an agenda and just, you know, I feel like some of the best songs are made when you're just sitting in the room talking about life and somebody says something that inspires a song idea, you know, or a title. It's just like those organic moments are so cool to me. And I've even, you know, like we've gotten like a verse into a song and just like completely switched gears and started writing a different song. And then, like you said, there are some that you start writing and it takes like 30 minutes, an hour to get out. I think that's also the beauty of songwriting is they all come different ways, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Like, I think that like when you get to that spot where it's about like the process, that's where the magic is, where you're not like you're not walking into a room with thinking like the first priority is, oh, I got to get a hit song written, or you know what I'm saying? Like, or I need to be on the radio because of what I need like a radio song, or I need sometimes like just the process of writing, getting to that point where you're like, just writing for the sake of writing. And then I feel like at some point, like when you're doing that, like everything else will come.
Yeah. And I feel like when you go into the room, like, oh, I need to get a hit. I need to get something that's like going to be great to be on the radio. Like you miss out on certain moments and you miss out on those honest moments in songs. And I feel like even with, you know, my song being my sound being R&B country, like I'm never like, oh, this is too country, this is too R&B. Like I just want the song to be what it is, you know. And you can always tweak production or lyrics after it's done, but I feel like you just need to get those emotions out and get those lyrics out exactly as they need to be.
This episode of New Slang is brought to you by the Blue Light Live here in Lubbock, Texas. Blue Light has undoubtedly been my home away from home over the years and has played such a vital role not only for my development as a journalist, but obviously it's been one of the foundational pieces for a lot of your favorite songwriters and bands who have made it out of the Lubbock area over the years. And of course, as a music venue, they've played such a pivotal role for a lot of your favorite bands just in general. One of my favorite parts about Blue Light is just how versatile the place can truly be. I've seen it crowded and rowdy on a Saturday night for a rock and roll band, And I've seen it dead still on a Wednesday when a legendary singer-songwriter rolls through town. What you should do is go over to bluelightlubbock.com and check out all the new merch they've added. Hats, t-shirts, both short and long sleeve. They also have hoodies and koozies and just added some sweatshirts that are very much an homage to the college sweatshirt that John Belushi wore in Animal House. And then of course, maybe the crown jewel of their new merch is the Varsity Club style jacket in blue satin. I got one the other day, and yeah, it's just one of my favorite things I own now. And yeah, I don't know, I just love it. Anyway, you can check out all of their new merch over at bluelightlubbock.com. As always, I'll throw a link into the show notes for easy access. Okay, let's get back to the show. Like right now, I feel like it is a very exciting time in country music, in Americana, in R&B country, where at least right now, like clearly there's been a bad, long storied history of gatekeeping, both on like the men and women side and then like minority side. Right now though, like it feels like there's a lot more dialogue happening where there's so many more exciting artists that are coming up right now. What's that kind of like, knowing that for a long time, you know, there was not a whole lot of, you know, African-American singers in country music other than like Charlie Pride. What is it like now, at least knowing that we're on that cusp of like at least growth and acceptance and just letting like anyone be in country? Because like, I don't know, like there, I feel like there's a lot more elegant ways to put it, but like, because like that's not necessarily important. Like the gatekeeping.
I mean, I think that at the end of the day, there is not one certain type of person that listens to country music. You have so many different people from different parts of the world that have different backgrounds that listen to country music. And I think that that's starting to be represented in country music and in artists that are singing these songs. And, you know, it's not like we haven't always been here. Mm-hmm. I think it's just where, you know, there's finally representation in country music and people are starting to see it be more diverse. And so that inspires people that have probably always loved country music and wanted to sing country music, but were just, you know, they were just scared because they didn't see anybody that looked like them singing country music. So I think it's beautiful that people are like having the courage to do what they want to do and sing country music. And I think it's beautiful that we're starting to see representation on all fronts in country music. So yeah, I don't know. It's beautiful and it makes me happy seeing you know, all of these artists that are now releasing country music because that's what they've always loved, and you know that's what they grew up on. It's just beautiful, and I hope that we see more artists from all different cultures come into country music.
Yeah, like I just find like the idea of gatekeeping something like a genre just so exhausting. You know what I mean? Like and like you said, like there's so many great artists who are coming up that don't look like the prototypical, you know, the country singer from the 70s or the 60s. But like as you mentioned, like there's been, you know, plenty of songwriters and artists who have been around, who played country, even if they weren't necessarily on country radio or represented in Nashville. I kind of always think about how, you know, I'm mostly like a white guy. I'm part Mexican American, but for all intents and purposes, I'm like a white guy. And I absolutely love hip hop and I love like Tex-Mex and like there's no one telling me that like, hey, you can't like that for, you know what I mean? Like I grew up in West Texas where there's like no hip hop scene. Like there's not like this like ingrained hip hop scene embedded in West Texas. So it's not about like where you're from. either.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's all just so interesting. I think for a long time, like people just, there is like a stereotype of people that, you know, if you're this color, you listen to this type of song or this genre. But that's just not how it is. Like if you like talk to anybody on the street and like ask them what kind of music they listen to, like it's people listen to all different kinds of music. Like it doesn't matter what color you are. Like you don't have to listen to a specific type of music just because of where you're from or what color you are. Like that's just wow to me. But you know, I think people are slowly but surely coming around and realizing that that's just not the way the world is. Like people listen to all different kinds of music and that is totally fine.
Yeah. Also, like what I find so strange about it too, and this is like going to be my last point on it, is like you're on when it comes to like a fan base, like you're cutting out like potential fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's which
Yes.
is
Yeah.
so backwards.
Yeah.
So I want to transition though to this, and this is I feel like a lot of up and coming songwriters who are in that, I guess like you're Gen Z, but from like Gen Z to like millennials, and
Can I
artists who
just say, I'm, it breaks my heart, but I'm like technically Gen Z. I claim being a millennial because I feel like it makes me sound so young, like that I'm Gen Z. So well, I'll accept that because that's technically correct, but in my brain, I think that I'm a millennial.
well
Okay, go ahead.
my
Sorry.
favorite see like my favorite part of this is like that like baby boomers, they think like millennials are y'all, and then it's like no, millennials are like way out of college, probably have kids, and like are like in their
Yeah.
30s. Like no, like what are you
Yeah.
talking about? um
Yeah.
but I guess like what I was gonna say was that like an artist who's like I find super underrated as a songwriter and as a performing artist has been Taylor Swift. Like, but
Yeah.
she seems like such an important songwriter for a lot of young songwriters, and I feel like you when you like kind of like pick together like or as you zoom out, if you will, a lot of people who are making music right now who are starting up, they all like kind of point to like, oh, you know, I remember Taylor Swift really being a huge inspiration because she
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, a 16-year-old girl playing guitar and writing her own songs. How like was that
Yes.
important for you as well? Like
Oh,
in your formative
absolutely.
years?
Absolutely. I mean, she definitely was like the person that I looked at when I was writing songs. Like I feel like she made songwriting cool, you know, and I think what Taylor has always been great at from the very beginning is connecting with her fans and like being a real person, you know, and writing about real stuff. Like I mean, people talk about how she talks about her boyfriends or ex-boyfriends all the time, but like literally everyone is like going through that, you know, and we want to hear songs about that. And I just think she had such a very and still has a very like conversational and like real way of writing songs that relate to so many different people and like I mean, she literally, I feel like she's one of the few people that like literally everyone knows who she is. Like, there's no way you haven't heard a Taylor Swift song, you know? Um, so I think she definitely is like was a huge influence when I started singing music and still is today because she has like continued to evolve her music. I mean, she has like so many albums out and they're all so different, you know, and she's like managed to stick around for so long and just like continue to build her fan base. So yeah, I mean Taylor Swift is like definitely an influence for me.
Yeah, like I think like what's so amazing about Taylor is the just like the progression. Like I think
Yeah.
people still if you haven't listened to Taylor Swift since like her first record, for some reason they still have like that as the image of Taylor Swift of, playing like, Tim McGraw or like, Pictures to Burn or something like that of this very like, teenage girl. And it's like, no, like Taylor's like in her early 30s and she's like writing records that sound like she's in her early 30s now. And like when she was 25, she put out like a record that sounded like she was 25 and so on. And I find like that to be really kind of like the underrated aspect of her career has been just like her ability to allow herself to grow as a songwriter as she's aged.
Yeah, I think that's a cool thing for fans too, is because we've grown up with her as well, and a lot of us are like going through the same thing that she's going through, and that's like translated through her music. I don't know. It's like mind blowing to me how she like continues to like write amazing songs, and they're all so different, but like speak directly to what a lot of the world is going through.
Yeah, and then like also, she this past year released 2 records that were both kind of quote unquote surprise records. And like it's one of those things where I guess like everyone talks about like there's so much music that's going to be made out of quarantine that, because everyone's just stuck at home writing, yada yada yada. Which has been true. I guess like there's going to be that part. Only like someone like Taylor she's I guess got like the infrastructure, the ability. She's so big, like she can just do that surprise record and it actually be like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but also the interesting thing about both of those records is like she didn't write them specifically about her life. Like she literally made up stories in all of these songs. Like I think that's like just the coolest thing. I don't really know any artist that's done that. I could be totally mistaken, but I think that's like a really cool take on songwriting. And also I think that's like just another testament to how she continues to evolve, like, I don't know. She's just literally from another planet. I feel like her brain is insane.
Yeah. So like, what are you, I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, are you Evermore or are you Folklore as far as like your favorite?
I'm Evermore. Which I think, hold on, let me see which one. That's the one with Willow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Willow and Nobody No Crime. I am a fan. I definitely listen to that one more than Folklore. Like only if she can do that. Like I definitely have like songs that I love off of Folklore, but Evermore's my fave. And I don't even like, how do you release like 2 albums and both of them have amazing songs on them? Like she very well could have released a second album and it just like be a flop. I mean, no, she probably couldn't. She's Taylor Swift. But like anybody else, like they could release 2 albums and like only one of them is good. But like there's so much good stuff on both of them.
Yeah, well,
I just can't with her.
It's one of those things where, like, just because they were so close together, right? Like you kind of go. A lot of times you kind of go, oh, well, this artist is doing this 2 record thing, and there was probably like one really great record in there if they just picked the 10 best songs or whatever, and kind of like just release those songs like either as like the extended album like in 10 years, like, or something, the bootleg version in whatever the case is. But like this somehow she's like every one of those songs is just strong enough for a record. And I think like my favorite part is like there's not like, I can probably pick out a few songs that are like standout singles, but like for the most part, like it sounds like a record.
Yeah. And I think also the interesting thing about both of these albums is that she wrote them all during quarantine. Like, and like, I feel like what we've been in quarantine for like almost a year. That's sad. But like as songwriters, like we write so many songs and you know, like over the course of time, like only a couple of them really, really make it, you know? And the fact that she like wrote all of these and that she has like so many good songs to pick from, that is also like mind blowing to me. And the fact that she writes a lot of these like by herself. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But you know, once again, like that's why like me and like so many other artists, it's why we look up to her, because she just is that good. You know, it's not like she has like this whole, I mean, she does have a whole team around her, but like at the core of it, like her songs are her, you know, like she is such a big part of writing all of this music.
Yeah, and like I think like what's really cool too is that she's very conceptual as far as like this kind of being like, especially with like these last two records, you very much feel like the vibes of each of them.
Yeah.
And she's done that in the past, clearly with like 1989 or like
Uh-huh.
what's the one where it's like the black and white cover? It's like, is it Reputation or something
Oh.
like that? It's a newer
Oh,
one.
maybe.
I'm not like the biggest fan of that record, but like I
Yeah.
get like it feels like a record that is very conceptual.
Yeah.
So like it still
Oh,
fits,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Reputation. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there was like a couple songs on that one that I loved, but it wasn't like Getaway Car was definitely my song. I love that one. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, the I could talk about Taylor all day, but
Dude, same. I freaking love her.
yeah, I just again like I just think like there's something, and I say like for up and coming artists like you, like people your age, around your age, but I think for like someone like my age, this is gonna be like my hot take, but like she's kind of like that artist that has been, if you're like 30, Taylor Swift
Hmm.
is like the artist that tells, she's written, I guess like she's been like kind of like her catalog has been like the perfect catalog to understand like a 30-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's really interesting. No, that's totally true. I can get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, I'll go with a little bit bigger hot take. And it's because they're connected, I think, but also because like they've been two of my favorite. It's her and Kanye in this strange way. Like both of
Yeah, okay.
their catalogs are like, they just kind of like, I feel like they kind of represent like the average 30-year-old in modern America. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to like a whole lot of Kanye, but I totally respect like his artistry. Um, and the fact that like he is super transparent in his music.
Yeah, like he's I feel like he's like I don't know. The past few records I've been kind of like, oh my god, why are you doing this? And then also like it is the transparency, but it's also like, you know, I don't know, like I feel like there's something, I feel like there's a lot of other issues going on in his life that
Yeah.
we're not
Hmm.
privy to, and that we don't necessarily need to be privy to, but it doesn't
Hmm.
help his image. But like, yeah, those first few Kanye records are just, the production is just incredible. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
but yeah, I was gonna like end it on this, and this is like the when you first moved to Nashville, you know, I don't know, like I went through and like watched a lot of your YouTube videos of like you playing songs and stuff like that. You did like the Cam cover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, what is it like, I guess, like first moving to Nashville, where it is like a place that isn't too far from where you grew up, but it is also like that Emerald City, if you will, that place that you
Hmm.
really want to go to. What was it like, I guess, like first moving up there and like, you know, trying to find those connections? You're again, like you're trying to find that voice as as a songwriter. You're, you know, doing covers and like you're using those covers to like figure out what you want to sound like. What was it like, I guess, like first moving up there and trying to figure out what you're doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, before I moved to Nashville, I took trips back and forth with my family, and I would just write with anybody that I could, and play any show that I could. And I mean, it was really helpful connecting with people, playing like writers rounds and open mics and stuff like that. I've really got to meet a lot of people, and so I was able to like kind of build a community before I moved here. And I think that made it a lot easier when I got up here, like, already knowing people. And I just am so thankful to know the people that I did, because, there were like publishers and writers in town that would introduce me to anybody that they could, and they're a huge part of the success that I had, and have right now. Because I feel like a big thing in Nashville, like it's all about community, like at the end of the day, it's like one big family, maybe a little dysfunctional at times, but it's like, it's one big family. And it really helps to have people champion, I can't say the word. It really helps to have people championing you. I definitely had those people and still have those people that look out for me and help me get opportunities. So yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do what I did and get my publishing deal and play certain shows if it hadn't have been for the people that believed in me from the very beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned like that EP that you did before and that you took down, and I guess like that's part of the process of you figuring out what your sound was. Do you remember specifically like when there was like that turn to like where you're like, oh, this is the style I want to do. These are the songs. Like, for example, like, is there like, what was like the earliest of the songs that are on this EP that you wrote?
So like the first song that I wrote
that ended up
that
ended up like being, yeah.
So that would be Founded in You. That was like the very first song that I wrote that's in the new vein of my sound, and that's why it's my favorite song that I've ever written. I wrote that one with Cameron Bedell, who's also now my producer. And yeah, I mean, that really started everything for me, because I feel like I was searching for my sound for a long time, and then we wrote that song, and it actually wasn't until I got the demo back and was listening to it in my car, and I was like, hold on, like this is exactly what I want my sound to be. This is exactly what I had been looking for the longest time. And I feel like it just kind of like took off from there, from that song. So that was Found in You was definitely the beginning of it all for me.
Yeah. There's something about like playing music in a car specifically that like when it's right in the car, like it usually is right no matter where.
Yes.
Like I feel like obviously I'm not a recording artist, but I'm privy sometimes to music before it's released, and I always like love whenever I'm listening to it in the vehicle and then kind of being like, man, like the person next to me doesn't know I'm listening to this new record and they probably would love it, even though I don't know if they would. I bet like there's something to that too, like even though it's you listening to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely listen to all of my demos in the car like a million times over because like that, you're right. Like that is the true test if a song is good or not. So whenever I get a demo back, like I am jamming it in the car all the time.
Yeah. You mentioned being championed by some other contemporaries and songwriters and people like that. You have like that Shania Twain connection. That must kind of feel, surreal.
I mean, just a little bit. I mean, that was crazy for sure. Like there are videos of me like singing her songs like in my bedroom, like with I just had like a webcam at the time, so it's like really crappy quality. And to go from that to singing in front of her and like having her like support my music, that means the world, because she's obviously a superstar. Everybody loves Shania. So to have that like close of a connection to her is like so amazing. And also, like, just recently Kelsea Ballerini and Pearce tweeted about my song Shut It Down, and that also just meant the world to me, because I literally, like, I would watch videos of them singing like before I moved to Nashville, and this was like when they were up and coming too, and so like to go from that to them also like being a champion of me is also just surreal. Like, I can't even wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, like the Shania, man, like I think that's one of those things too where in a lot of ways it goes back to like the Taylor Swift thing, because I think like people don't realize like Shania wrote like, I think especially like those big 3 records from like the 90s, or like the 90s like up, I guess is like 2004 or something like that. But you know, she wrote like 90% of those songs. So,
yeah,
you know, she is often viewed as like, you know, a performer or something like that, but it's very much the songwriter too. So,
yeah.
I can't remember, one of my buddies sent me a meme earlier, or like, I guess it was like just maybe a screenshot of somebody saying this, and it was, you know, anytime I hear Shania Twain say "Let's go, girls," I can like kick a door open. I just want to like burst through the wall.
Right?
It's like the funniest thing. Like, just
that's totally the feeling, though. Like, yeah, that's amazing. I've seen so many of those memes all around, and I like crack up every time I see them.
Yeah. What actually, like, what was kind of something funny that I wanted to touch on and end on this one actually is that you just said was how you remember playing or singing along to Shania Twain songs to like with like a webcam. If the pandemic happened like back then, we wouldn't have like any of these lives. Like the audio quality on any of this stuff would have been so bad. I don't know if people realize that just like a few years back, like it would have been so much worse.
Yeah, dude, I can't even imagine. Oh my God. Literally, like, the quality is so bad. Like, I went back and watched some of those videos, and I'm like embarrassed. But obviously, wasn't embarrassed at the time because that was like the best quality of the time. But like, I'm like, this would not cut it today. People would be like, "Sis, you need to get that fixed." Yeah, so very thankful for advancements in technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been really great talking with you today.
You too. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking some time, and yeah, I'm excited for you to have this first EP coming out here in about a month.
Thank you.
All right, that is it for this one. Be sure to check out Miles, the newest single from Tiera, out tomorrow. Go like, subscribe, and so on. Check out the Neon Eon if you haven't just yet. Go check out our partners over at Desert Door, The Blue Light Live, and Hot Damn Coffee. Go buy stuff from them. Check out the merch store and the Patreon. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week for more episodes.